gets burned alive after he tries to take down Trump over Christmas. Barack Obama had his first official post-presidency interview with BBC News correspondent Prince Harry. In the interview, the former president couldn't resist taking a cheap shot at President Trump. Obama has been obsessed with Trump ever since he was elected to office and is determined to bring him down. Unfortunately for Barack Obama, things didn't go exactly as planned and is now picking up the pieces from the fallout. According to the New York Times, it was a case of the famous interviewing the famous. The BBC aired an interview on Wednesday that was unusual in at least a couple of respects. The man answering the questions was former President Barack Obama, and the man asking them was his friend Prince Harry. The prince took the seat as a guest editor for BBC Radio 4's flagship program, Today, and broadcast a long-awaited interview in which he questioned the former president about the day he left the White House, his work since leaving office and his plans for the future. Neither party mentioned President Trump by name, but Mr. Obama's successor was never far from the conversation. The two men discussed the risks of using social media and the corrosion of civil discourse. The interview was recorded in Toronto in September, when Prince Harry and Mr. Obama met during the Invictus Games, a sporting competition for injured military members and veterans. Obama just cannot get over the fact that he is no longer president, and there is now a man who has done more for the country in 1 year than he did in 8. Americans should be thankful we have a president who is not as narcissistic as Obama once was. Trump was able to use his phenomenal intellect and skills to win back the White House for American patriots. Now, we just have to bide our time until the swamp is drained, and we can figure a way out to shut Obama up as he continues his world tour. Now, back to the interview. The interview between the two socialists was given a clever name by the liberal media, When Harry Met Barry, the BBC Obama interview. As the two men sat across from each other, struggling to get over themselves, they talked about the tremendously challenging issues of our day and used it as an avenue to take a cheap shot at President Trump. I still care about making sure that the United States and the world is a place where kids get a decent education, Obama said. Where people who are willing to work hard are able to find a job that pays a living wage. That we're conserving the amazing resources of our planet so that future generations can enjoy the beauty of this place. Like we did. According to the Daily Caller, former President Barack Obama took a thinly veiled swipe at his successor in his first post-presidential interview. During a sit-down with guest BBC correspondent Prince Harry, the former president targeted President Donald Trump's Twitter habits, saying all of us in leadership need to responsibly use social media. Obama then echoed frequent criticism of the president for retweeting questionable characters in the past. One of the dangers of the internet is that people can have entirely different realities. They can be cocooned in information that reinforces their current biases, he said. Obama has made several post-presidential appearances but has avoided criticizing his successor by name. The former president, however, has on several occasions put out policy statements on the Trump administration's actions such as the travel ban, the Republican-led effort to repeal the Affordable Care Act, and the president's decision to rescind his protection for illegal immigrants. It's clear that Obama was using the opportunity to call Trump out for his Twitter usage. But what else is Trump supposed to do when the liberal media just twists his words? Obama needs to get with the program and take a backseat like every other president who passes the baton. Obama went on to talk about the dangers of the internet if it is influenced by the wrong people, namely conservatives. One of the dangers of the internet is that people can have entirely different realities. They can be